Yeah, 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 yeah. Ever since it's a COVID-19, everybody does a talk about vaccine. One to the vaccine when the pot clean. Operation need vaccine. We say vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. One to the vaccine for the crack fiend. One to the vaccine for the vaccine. Afraid them shoot our son when the cops see him. Hey, where the vaccine? One to the vaccine when the pot clean. One to the vaccine from the crime scene. It's a ghetto youth fall up like napkin. We need a vaccine at the ghetto car. Our struggles are no similes and no metaphor. If we ghetto youth dream, if we get a car, buy a house, try make it out, no get so far. No live so long, we get vaccine. Ghetto people no want to know vaccine. If it's not a vaccine, we start cream and can live a better life and stop dream. For the youth, them way in a jail house, we still no get charged, can't get no bail out. We say vaccine, what for make no see road quarantine. Now we want to know that vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. One to the vaccine for the crack fiend. One to the vaccine for the vaccine. We afraid them shoot our son when the cops see him. Hey, where the vaccine? One to the vaccine when the pot clean. One to the vaccine from the crime scene. Little ghetto you fold up like napkin. We need a vaccine for real, cause some evil people them be will lead us. Foot power next time for you no ease off. Me no trust Babylon, we need a vaccine. For them stop deceive the poor and every workplace start give people more vaccine. Me not lie, we need the cure. The police stop kicking we door. We need a vaccine to bust the aisle mill, fi cut the piping. Look how long, I'll price trap. But JPS I give with some fuckery like the little I will no fake. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I.S.U.P.K got the vaccine. Mr. General YAHANNA have the vaccine. General my man have the vaccine. Big Captain Mashak got the vaccine. Hey, Nayatak got the vaccine. Hey, Abada one got the vaccine. Hey, Akaya got the vaccine. Bakawar got the vaccine. Hey. Ever since it's a COVID-19, everybody does a talk about vaccine. One to the vaccine when the pot clean. Operation need vaccine. We say vaccine. Vaccine.
Shivers too, shiver, a lot of shivers.
Yeah.
We haven't men.
Yep. So,
But the vast majority of men can't stomach it. It's a special type of weirdo that can, but most men can't. And it's always crazy to me that men don't want to take horror seriously or really commit to a horror, but they still have sex with it.
So I took some towels and I started wrapping the towels around my knuckles.
Oh shit!
And I started beating them up.
He was like,
I started throwing them things at him. Hey, I was fighting for slavery.
Go talk to him because talking to me, I'm gonna go tell him.
Right.
bitch, I never liked you anyway.
I ain't like your ass anyway. Take your ass home. I ain't never liked you in the first place.
I've been waiting for this. Go ahead, tell me.
I've been telling him you was a piece of shit.
Let me tell you what this chick said.
I told you about this bitch already.
All right, y'all. What's going down? What's going dizzle? You know what I mean? Shalom. Yahweh Shemal Etham B'Hashem Yahushai to the sisters. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatha to the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everybody. Y'all know what it is. It's Passover time. If you could you tell why you come to tune in? Maybe you might want to hear this. Big shouts out to everybody. Y'all already know, man, it's Passover time. You know what I'm saying? We here. We finally are here. We here. at the day where we've been talking about ever since October. We've been talking about it over and over, week after week after week. Now we here, you know what I'm saying? So if you're at this point and you don't have your thing together or whatever it is, then get with your camp leader from your city. Get with them now. Don't wait. Don't do the unbrother. This is the brotherhood class and the sisterhood class. Don't do the unbrotherly thing and put it on a brother at the last minute. If you need help, then open your damn mouth. If you a sister and you need help, open your damn mouth. Do not put the burden on a brother and his family at the last minute. Say something now. So don't wait until the day before the Passover talking about, oh, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. No, we already went through that. We went through that. If you need help with anything, talk to your camp leader, right? And figure it out now, all right? Because once I get there, my phone is going off, all right? So make sure that you, like I said, get all your stuff in order. It's going to be pretty much like, you got the first wave that's already there, and the next is going to go. The next wave is going to go Thursday. The next wave is going to go Friday. By the time Friday gets here, everybody's going to be there. So just stop playing with it, man. I mean, I know we black folks, but at the same time, we got to have some sort of time management, and we have to have everything worked out, all the particulars, all right? So that we can get down there and go to Passover, all right? So let me see who's in here real quick. So we got April Cornett, okay, JP Princess, One West, I'm sorry, One West, YAHANNA, what's going on? Shield the Truth, my gun. So like I said, Ratazian. So like I said, make sure if you not in the building for Passover, kill yourself, man. You know damn well you should be there, right? You had all year. You do not. We don't miss Passover. You look. It is a law that every person. Am I wrong? Every woman, every man, right, has to present themselves before the Lord 3 times a year. Yeah. So if you have not been around, you have not presented yourself before the Lord, then you know that you are dead ass wrong. So you should be in the Passover, all right? You should be in the Passover, and you should be in the other high holy days that's going to come up. But if you have not presented yourself this year, then you need to do it and stop playing around, all right? You know you dead ass wrong. Sloggy for my language. But we're talking about the Passover here, all right? All right? So it's Passover time, Passover Saturday. We got the Feast of Unleavened Bread on Sunday. We got, the lamb slaughter on Wednesday, the black party on Thursday, the kids party on Friday. I mean, it's just all kinds of stuff going on. The plantation is on Thursday morning. So if you're trying to go to that or Black Wall Street tour, then you got to be there. You got to roll out Wednesday or get on the flight or whatever you got to do. All right. Boom. So a sister, I was talking to a sister and she was asking about like how does it go for women and stuff like that when it's concerning the Passover. And she was asking me some things about, why can't sisters go into the Passover while they're on their period, their menstrual cycle rather. And I told her why or whatever. And, she really, didn't, how sometimes a person, they can hear the answer, but they don't really, you can tell on their face, they don't really accept the answer. Like, well, why? And I was like, okay, so what I'm going to go into is the criteria of why, of what is expected when a woman is unclean. Because as we know, there are going to be a lot of sisters that might not be able to go to Passover this year, not because they don't want to go, but because it was, their time of the month and they're not able to go. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into it. So the first scripture, if I could, the first scripture I would like to go to is All right, and this is going to be about, like, we're going to go into the Passover, of course, maybe answer some questions about the Passover maybe you might not have known, and then we'll just segue into both, and then we'll just end the class, all right? Because I know everybody got a lot of stuff to do, all right? So let me get Leviticus 18:2.
Come on, sir. Your camera.
Oh, the camera? All right. It's like, it's already, I can see, but we're going to work it out. All right. Let me see here. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead, Leviticus 18:2. Whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and do it.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. Verse 3, after the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Right, because remember, when we was around the Canaanites and we was around all these different nations, the Lord told us, hey, look, when you go around these nations, don't follow what I told you to do and don't do what they do, right? And we're going to read into some of the things that they were doing. You can go ahead.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Which is so hard for Israel to do. Go ahead.
Verse 4, ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
Okay. Let's skip down to verse 19.
Verse 19. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness.
Right, her uncleanness, right? So a woman can be separated, you know what I mean, because it's her time of the month. She's she's going through her menstrual cycle, and this is, and this is what the Lord is telling us not to do, to not follow after the other nations that we were around, because this is what they were doing. Right. And so this is what the Lord told us not to do. Right. He told us not to uncover the nakedness of a woman as long as she is put apart for her uncleanliness. Right. So meaning that you can't go and have sex with a woman while she's on her period.
Right.
All right. Don't do that. That's what they were doing. And that's what these other nations do that are around us. You know what I mean? You even have Jake today doing that. You know what I'm saying? Having sex with women while they're on their period, and we're not supposed to be doing that. All right, that's a time where a sister, she's going through her menstrual cycle, and that's the time where you're not supposed to have sex with your wife. All right, no sweat. So let me get Leviticus 15 and 19. And I'm just gonna run through it fast because I know we don't have a lot of time tonight. But shout out to Shara Yakar, Princess Aitara, Shalom Yahweh Shemal Thamba Shemel, shout out to you, y'all, Princess Shakara. Let me see, got a lot of sisters in here. Renee Green, Maria Stevenson, Shield of Truth, Magun, and Wayaquam, of course, April Cornett. And we're touching on. All right, no sweat. So we're gonna get it on. And go ahead. I'm like, I don't want to get too far.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood.
Right. So if a woman have an issue and the issue in her flesh be blood, keep going.
She shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, I was in the wrong chapter. All right, go ahead.
Verse 20. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean.
Right. So if the woman is on her period, on her menstrual cycle, right, then everything that this woman touches is unclean. Right. Keep going.
And everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
Right. So if she sits on the couch is unclean. She sits on the bed is unclean. But our women, they have husbands. All right. Keep going.
And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
Right. So if your rib is on her flower, or your rib is, you know what I'm saying, when you get in the bed with her at night or whatever, to lay down or whatever, you're unclean until the even. All right. Keep going.
Verse 22. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
Right. So what the Lord is trying to show us is how to be clean, right? How to stay clean and not to, you know, spread germs and different things like that by being unclean. All right. You can keep going.
Verse 23. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all,
if what?
And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days.
Right. So that brother who has sex with a sister who's or you know on whether it be, you know, her blood gets on you, you're unclean for 7 days, meaning that you have no priestly duties for 7 days. All right. And it goes, and we talking about the Passover now. So if a sister is on her flower and it's Passover time, then that sister can't come into the Passover. All right. And it goes both ways. Around her, and you know, when she get blood on him or whatever because he's having sex with her while she's on her period, then that brother can't come to the Passover either. All right, go ahead, keep going.
And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. Verse 25. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation.
Right. So this is like, say like, you know, it's a time of the month and, you know, it might be a certain amount of time that you might be used to while you're going through your menstrual cycle. And then it might say it goes a little bit longer than the allotted time that you would be unclean. Read on.
All the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation.
Right, meaning that it'll just keep going on. You'll just be unclean longer than the 7 days, all right? And that's how it goes, right? So, all right, let me, you could drop that. And if I could, let me show y'all something about, matter of fact, Leviticus 20 and 18. Yeah, because we're getting the law, really. Leviticus 20 and 18.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood.
This is the brother who's, you know, having sex with a woman, you know, while she's on her period. You know, uncovering a woman's nakedness while she's on her period. Go ahead.
And
most women, and you know, most women, you know, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm on my time of the month. Like, you know, we ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that women ain't you know, staying away from it, but I'm just saying there are some women out there that don't give a damn, and there are some brothers out there that don't give a damn either. So what this scripture is talking about is if you are, you know, a brother who don't give a damn and you trying to have sex or uncover the nakedness of a woman, then you're unclean, right? Same thing as a woman. Go ahead.
And both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
Damn, that was serious. You get cut the hell off if you're doing that, because we had standards. That's what we don't have today. We don't have standards, you know, and all of this, what we're talking about, and these laws and these statutes and these commandments, all this is a culmination that builds up to what? Culture.
Right.
Right? In order to have a culture, you have to have standards. in order to have, before you can have standards, you have to have rules, right? And all of these things that have to be taught to you, and all of these things together make up a culture, right? And we have a culture where we're clean, right? But that's why we don't wear dreadlocks in our head. Right. That's why we get that hair combed out. You know what I mean? You get some grease. You put some shampoo in your head. You get some grease. You get your rib to comb that dead hair out of your hair, and then you get that thing braided back. Right. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? It's all about cleansiness. I know that you hear that cleansiness is next to godliness, right? This is the Lord is teaching us how to be clean. Right. And we can't be clean if the nation is just having sex with women, on their period, and then coming and dapping you up. You know what I mean? You coming and dapping me up, and you going through, your rib is on a period, and you know better. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. And you know better. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the scriptures is telling us, and this is why we're here to say it. So I know it'd be kind of difficult sometimes around Passover time, because sisters kind of don't know if they're going to be able to go, because sometimes the time might switch. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be in the beginning of the month. Sometimes it could be in the middle. Sometimes it could be at the end of the month. My first Passover was April the 23rd. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. All right. So let me give y'all another one. Let me get one if you have a kid, if you have a baby. So a lot of sisters that have children that I've been seeing on Facebook that are, conceived children within the last month, right? Sisters that have conceived children in the last week or two, right? And so we're going to go into that. So that's Leviticus 12:1. And we're going to go down to 5, Baba Kashar.
Khan, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 12, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed.
Right. So the conceived seed is a woman she had a baby. Right? Keep going.
And born a man child.
Uh-huh.
Then shall she be unclean 7 days.
Uh-huh.
According to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean.
Right. So if a woman is unclean, if she gives birth to a boy, right? If she gives birth. But in this case, this child is a male child, right? Because it changes. It's a different dynamic when it's a woman. A girl or a boy, right? So now we're talking about the boy, and we're going to go through the what's that called? Not the standard, but I can't even think of the word. The protocol. The protocol for a woman of the separation. We're going to go through it right now. So it is where we at?
Verse 2.
Verse 2. So 7 days. So she's automatically unclean for 7 days. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 3. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
Right, because after she has a baby, it's a custom in Israel that the baby gets circumcised on the 8th day. Keep going.
Verse 4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days.
Right, so that's 33 days, right? 33 days, right? Plus the 7, right? Go ahead.
She shall touch no hallowed thing. Nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
That somebody came in there?
That sound like Officer Matazapa.
Oh, okay. So she should be unclean 7 days, right? According to the separation of her infirmity, right? So that's the 7, right? And then it says, then continuing in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor read number 4 one time for me, please.
Sir, I got it. Come on. The book of Leviticus, chapter 12, verse 4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days.
That's 33 days. Go ahead.
She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary.
Passover.
nor come into the sanctuary.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Nor come into the sanctuary.
You see that? Go ahead.
Until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
Right. So that's 33 days plus the 7 days. Right. So that's the 33 plus 7. That's 40 days. Right. That's 40 days. So if you was on Facebook and you just had a baby within the last week or so, then you can't come to Passover. If it was 2 weeks, you still can't come. If it was a month, you still can't come. Right. If you had a baby in February, you know what I mean, then you can't come. All right, to the Passover. It's not like anything personal. It's just that's the way that it worked out. All right, keep going.
Okay. Verse 5. But if she bear a maid child.
So we're talking. So the first one was a boy. The criteria, that was the word I was looking for. Criteria. So the criteria is the boy. So the boy is 40 days. Right. Keep going.
Then shall she be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation.
Right. So now, instead of the 7 days, it's 14 days. Go ahead.
And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 60 days.
So a score is 20. A score in the Bible is 20 days, right? So 20. So 60 is what? 60. 60 plus what? 6, right? Plus the 6. That's 66 plus the 14. So plus the 14 would be 80 days. So the woman, if a woman has a daughter, she's unclean for 80 days. Right. So if you a sister that's in the school and you had a daughter, let me see, January, you would be January, February, March. So it'd be like the beginning of like April.
First week of January.
Yeah, then it'd be like April.
Yeah,
because it's 80 days. It's 80 days.
Passover, you'd be in line, right?
Yeah, you'd be like pushing it. But it would. It's 30. It's 33 plus the 4. I mean 30. Three score. 3 score and 6. That's 66.
80 days. So that's 80.
80 days.
January 1st to April 1st would be 90, right?
Right. It would be 90 from January 1st to April 1st.
Should be good.
So.
They would be good. January 1st.
Yeah, if it was January, you good. Yeah, you good. If you had it on January the 1st, you made it. You know what I'm saying? You good. You in there. We're going to see you in the building. But if it was anything after that, you know what I mean, then you wouldn't be able to come into the Passover or the Feast of Unleavened Bread because you're unclean. All right? All right, no sweat. All right, so we could drop that. All right, so let me get
or class or anything.
Right, class. Class or class. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. All right. So all right, let me get one more, man. And I read this story today, matter of fact. Let me get Genesis 31 and 32. Y'all remember Laban, right? Remember when Laban was he was tripping on Jacob? Genesis 31 and 32. Remember when Laban was tripping on Jacob, and then Jacob rolled because remember he tricked him the first time. And then he just, because you know how you read the story about Laban, but oh snap, my bad, Salaka, y'all. The water too for watching out. It's just acting stupid today, but we're gonna get it on. It's Passover time.
No, I was just straight trickery. No, it literally was like,
yeah, Laban was like on some BS when you read it. Laban was tripping.
And if I'm not mistaken, do we have like the law of like sisters before that?
No, it came after.
Right.
It came after Laban. You know what I mean? Because you read about it in Leviticus. You read about it in Leviticus. Right. You know what I'm saying? About you can't marry sisters. You know what I mean? For that reason right there. But Jacob and Laban. So just to give you a little bit of back history about it, you know what I'm saying? Laban kept doing Jacob dirty, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord seen what was happening. You know what I'm saying? The Lord seen what was happening. So what happened was the cattle that was Laban's that were born, they were weak and feeble and they were dying and all kinds of stuff like that. But then the cattle that was born to Jacob was strong and healthy and thriving and they were multiplying, and you know what I'm saying? And Laban was jealous of it, you know what I mean? And he was talking to his sons about it, about, you know, what he was, you know, about Jacob, and it got back to Jacob about it, right? So let's skip down to 31:5, just to kind of give everybody a little back history or whatever. But remember, the point that I'm trying to get all this to is about her being on her menstrual and the law about being on your menstrual cycle. All right. Remember, we read earlier about, you know, a woman, whatever she sits on is unclean, whatever she touches is unclean. And so we're going to get to that. OK, so let me get Genesis 31:5.
The book of Genesis, chapter 31, verse 5. And said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before.
Cause remember when he first went to Laban's crib, he was like, bone in my bone, flesh in my flesh. You know what I mean? He welcomed it with open arms. But now the relationship is a little bit it's a little bit strange now. You know what I'm saying? And Jacob is picking up on it, you know what I mean, from Laban's countenance, right? His spirit. Go ahead.
Okay. But the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father.
Right, I did all I could. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
And your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. Right. Because, you know, out of hatred, you know what I mean? Out of, you know, he was hating on Jacob, you know what I mean? Because, like, even remember when Jacob came, Salaki, I might have this backwards, but it was, he wanted Rebecca, right? And then he gave him Leah, right? Now, that was, you know what I mean? He worked for 7 years for Rebecca, worked 7 years to the plow, his hand to the plow, you know what I'm saying? His hand to the, and when I say the plow, I'm talking about working, you know what I'm saying? He was working for this man for 7 years from a deal that he had because he wanted the specific one. He wanted Celie's sister, you know, on Color Purple. He wanted Celie's sister, but instead he got Whoopi Goldberg. But he didn't want Whoopi Goldberg. He wanted the other sister, and he did that by switching them out or whatever. All right, and then he had to work another 7 years, right, to get the other one. All right, the one that he wanted. All right, keep going. Oh,
wait a minute. No, I'm gonna skip you around because I don't want to. Okay. You can keep reading from 8 to 9.
Sir. And if he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckle. And if he said thus, the ring straight shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring straight. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me.
Right. Go ahead, Matalaba.
So like if I may.
Oh, go ahead, take the mic. Just so everybody can hear you at home.
If I may, something I wanted to point out is, like, you know, everybody would want the cattle with no blemishes. You know what I mean? And so you really wouldn't want the speckled one, or you wouldn't want the ring straight one. So, but like if Laban say, well, you know, yours is going to be the speckled ones. And the Lord gonna make all them throwing speckled, and I'm about to get all of them. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
Or they're gonna be this other pattern, and I'm getting all of them. You know, you ain't gonna have nothing.
Right.
You trying to hurt me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You trying to be a piece of garbage. But the Lord is with me. And the Lord is not with you. So
He's like, yeah, you all over.
Yeah, whatever you think you trying to, you know, how you trying to hurt me, the Lord is turning it into a blessing for me.
Right.
You know, you get all the speckled ones. All right, watch this. all of them gonna be speckled, and one of them gonna be like without blemish. You gonna eat one lamb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a good breakdown. Yeah, that's a good breakdown. Yeah. Yeah. Most High in Christ, man. That's a good breakdown, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, word. Okay, so verse 9 one more time.
Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me.
Right, because of how he was acting, he was trying to handle Jacob. All right. So let's skip to Okay, so now I'm gonna skip y'all up or whatever. I'm on the point. I'm on the point of the law on a woman being on a menstrual cycle, being unclean. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's why I want to keep y'all there. But I just want to give y'all a little bit of backstory in case you just didn't know what was going on. All right. Can you go down to 32? Okay. So what happened was when they got everything together, Jacob is like ready to roll or whatever. So they pack everything up. He get his kids, he pack everything up, his cattle, everything like that, his wives, and they roll out or whatever. But when he rolls out, Rachel takes, because remember, if you go back, Rachel was like, damn, don't we got some sort of inheritance? You know what I'm saying? Right. So what she did was she took some of Laban's images. She took them and she stole them. Right? She stole them and she bounced. Now, by the time Laban found out about it, Jacob and everybody was already gone. So Laban went tracking after Jacob. Right. And it was a 7 days ride, you know what I'm saying, to go find him. So he runs back into him, and now he's trying to figure out where is his stuff at, his property, all right? Damn. You gotta be mad to chase a nigga for 7 days. That's crazy. Like, that means like your anger gotta like stay consistent. Because, you go to sleep, you like, all right, wake up the next day, you like, I ain't really mad like that. You know what I'm saying? You just like, whatever, man. I'm turning back around. I'm going home. I'm not going to keep tracking after. And you don't know if you're going to catch this nigga or not. You don't know which way he went. You don't know nothing. So, but to keep that for 7 straight days, to get all the way up to him and be like, yo, man, where my stuff at? Like, damn. You know what I mean? You made it this far without getting eaten by a damn animal or nothing, but he made it or whatever, right? So he goes up to Jacob and he's like, yo, where's my stuff at? And Jacob is like, verse 30.
Verse 30. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? Right,
because he had a bunch of idols. Right, Laban had a bunch of idols. Right, verse. You can skip down to 32. We're gonna hurry up and get
verse
it. Verse
32. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live.
Mm-hmm.
Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them.
Right. Rachel had them, right? Rachel had Laban's property, which was her father, but she had it, and Jacob didn't know that she had it, right? So, verse 34.
Verse 34. Now Rachel.
Okay, so he enters Rachel. So Laban is Slakia. Could you just read 33 and 34?
And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the 2 maidservants' tents.
So he's going through the camp and he's like looking through everybody. You know what I mean? He's shaking everybody down. Go ahead, Matazba.
Because in verse 31, he said, look, he was running from him because he was scared he was going to take his daughters from him.
Yeah.
His wives. And then, so he like, well, whoever got those gods, let him not live.
Right. He tight.
So he like, let him not live because he know he don't got them.
Right.
He know he don't got him, so he like, let him not live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's letting Laban check everything.
Like, it's kind of like
he don't even know that Rachel got him.
Right, because it's like, you know how like a person might make a swear, like they might be saying, if I got it, then let the Lord kill me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let God strike me dead. I know we heard that growing up. Let the Lord strike me down right now if I'm lying. But that's what he's saying though. He's like, well whoever got him, let the Lord strike him down right now. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 30, 33, into 33. Mm-hmm. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Mm-hmm. Verse 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, let it not displease my Lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me.
See that right there? She was on her period. And she knew, and that's why she sat on it.
Right.
So she hid it, she sits on it, and she like, oh man, don't make me stand up because the custom of women is on me. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so he's like, well, all right, you know what I mean? Like he know, because like if she get up and he touch it, then he's unclean. You know what I mean? And so he's not, and that's why she made it known to him, like the custom of woman is upon me. Please don't suffer me to have to get up so you can search underneath of me because this is where I'm sitting at and I'm on my time of the month. Keep going.
And he searched but found not the images.
All right, no sweat. So yeah, that was my point. My point of saying everything, and hopefully everybody got a little clarification on that. All right.
There was a question in the chat, sir.
I can't even see it. It's out here.
Renee Green.
No to the truth from Philly. Okay. It says what was the question?
It says online, sir. Does a woman's hair, all the ends need to be covered for all events, for the entire events, Passover?
No. Like we going out to like the what's that called? The plantation, Black Wall Street. No, your hair don't have to be covered. Your hair just have to be covered when we're in the sanctuary. We're in a thing that and different things like that, and the teaching class and scriptures is coming out. Right. Then you cover your head. You know what I mean? And so really a sister only has to have her head covered on the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover. That's it. That's the only requirement. Go ahead.
And Friday night scripture breakdown with General Muhammad.
Right. And Friday night scripture breakdown with General Muhammad. Right. Salaki, the water for that. So yeah, just school and Passover and school and high holy days that we're there for. Right. But other than that, you go into the mall, wear your hair out. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to the plantation, you want to go to the black party, you fine, man. Go in there, man. Let them braids hang out. You know what I'm saying? Or however you got your hair done, let it all hang out. You know what I'm saying? You good to go. All right.
Sweat them curls out.
Sweat those curls out. Yeah. All right. Shalom. Y'all recall in the building. Reba Mataji Allah. Yeah. She ready to go down there to Passover. Huh?
All right. Damn right.
Yeah. That's right. So we're gonna get a couple more scriptures and then I'm gonna end it because I know everybody got stuff they got to do. Hair they got to get braided up. All right. So if you could. I just want to go on a couple of Passover scriptures because I heard, look, man, go ahead and talk about
the lab started tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow in the morning?
Yeah, the beginning part of the day. Like, maybe not the morning, but it'll probably be like, 12, 1, like it was before when we did it. Could you see me one time, please? And so I know y'all heard this before. Y'all heard that doctrine where they say we can't keep the Passover.
Right.
So Nick, these figures are like we talking about. You can't keep the Passover in captivity. Right. So I want to read Ezra 6:19. I know y'all heard this. I heard it before too. I was like, what the hell are you niggas talking about? Ezra, Ezra. Huh? Yeah, go ahead, get it on. Get it on. That if you don't drink now, it's going down on the road. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to because mom riding with me. Mom was yesterday. I was talking to mom on the phone. She was like, "You ain't gonna have the AC on, is you?" Like, oh boy. Like, oh man, here we go. Like we ain't even got on the road yet. Yeah, like mom, like you ain't gonna have the music up, are you? Like, well, I was planning on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I'm the only driver, so I'm going to drive the way I feel comfortable. Yeah, I got to knock out a 6 to 7 hour drive. I'm gonna be playing music. Damn right. Yeah. So Ezra 6:19.
Okay. I got some in my car. It's the book of Ezra, chapter 6, verse 19.
Right, not Ezra, like EDRAS. It's EZRA. That's in the scriptures, in the Bible.
Okay.
You got it.
And the children of the captivity kept the Passover.
They what?
Kept the Passover.
Right. So the children of the captivity, they kept the Passover. You know what I mean? And it's the same way that we're here today in America, and we still keeping the Passover today, right? We keep the Passover. You know, we remember when the Lord brought us out of Egypt. You know, and we lost our way. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. We did lose our way through the generations. Like through slavery and stuff like that. When the Lord, remember the Lord even said it. He said, "Even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage." Right. And remember, it said the Lord put a deep sleep. You know what I'm saying, over us. And so it was a time where we didn't keep the Passover, and that was because we didn't remember. But now the Lord, where the Lord has given the Spirit and put His Spirit back on the earth for us to wake up now, and now we understand it now. So even though we're still here in captivity, we still keep the Passover in captivity. There's no Edomite that's telling you that you can't go down to North Carolina.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nobody, stopping you from going. You can go if you go to the Passover, right? Because it is commanded from us from the Lord. Go ahead. Tell us about.
So if I may, I believe there's another scripture that say like rehearse the righteous acts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, how are we gonna you ain't even preparing yourself for when Christ comes.
Yeah.
Like people think it's just like magically like Christ just gonna come and we just gonna all just wake up one day and just everything's gonna be perfect.
Yo,
we gotta work towards that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, yo, you're right, because I remember I saw the this is like when I first came into the truth. I heard a fake Israelite group. He was like, yeah, because see, we can't keep the Passover in captivity. See them I.S.U.P.K. They the wicked. You know what I mean? They the wicked. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, yeah. See, they the wicked. You know what I mean? Because they trying to keep the Passover in captivity. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep it in captivity. And I was like, damn. You know what I mean? But at the time, I ain't really know how to really combat that. I didn't know this scripture here. You know what I'm saying? I thought maybe, you know what I mean? I'm a young man. I'm just trying to learn about the truth. I thought maybe they might have been right or something. You know what I mean? Because remember at that time, when we first came into truth, you would see once you start watching like I.S.U.P.K. videos, you would see like Commanding General YAHANNA and them at the Passover. Like it'd be like, I remember that video where he was standing up there with the, he had that garment on, that real nice garment, and he was, the old school Passover, and it was like Captain Akai was up there, like on the guard, and I remember seeing that, and it was like they be like, "Yo, Shalom Israel, the Passover," you know what I mean? And I was like, "Damn!" But then I remember seeing like some Israelites say that they were wicked, saying that the Israelites were wicked, that I.S.U.P.K. was wicked because they were trying to keep the Passover in captivity. And you also hear this too, and I'm going to give it to you, Matazapa, but you also hear this too, that we can't have multiple wives because we're in captivity.
And it's Well, I was about to say that, with that doctrine is no different than what Creflo Dollar teaches. Like, okay, we're actually following the Bible, and you're trying to tell us that what we're doing is wrong. Just like Creflo, we follow the laws, and Creflo Dollar is saying, no, that's what the devil wants you to do. The devil wants you to break them. The devil wants you to follow the laws. Like, so now we wicked because we follow the laws.
Because we follow the Bible. It's like some reverse psychology. Like,
it's crazy. It's really reverse psychology. It's crazy.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just going to add that it's just no different than the Christian church if they have that mentality.
Yeah.
The Christian church says you can't keep the law. You got to have faith in Jesus. You don't got to keep the law.
Hey, we're talking about. No, you're right.
And they saying that you can't keep the law by the Passover and all that.
So, right. All right. So boom. So I'll just keep talking. Okay. We was at Ezra 6:19, but it says, let me see. I'm gonna get there real quick, just so I can elaborate until the brother get back. It's after 2nd Chronicles.
I can pick it up for you.
2nd Chronicles. Ezra is right after Chronicles, 2nd Chronicles, and we need Ezra 6:19.
6:19. You got it.
Ezra 6:19.
All right, I got you. Just the Passover.
Okay, yeah, I got it right here.
Okay. Ezra chapter 6, verse 19. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover.
He said one more time.
And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month.
Right, so the first month. So right now, we see what's going on right now. You're looking outside. Them trees is blooming, ain't they? Them trees is going. I'm starting to see the white coming up on the trees. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, it's the new year. It's still cold outside, but somehow them trees is breaking through. You know, them flowers are breaking through. Like, and I'm like, damn, it's still cold outside, but they still growing. You know what I mean? It's like it's still cold outside right now up north, but the flowers are still breaking through. They still growing because it's just the Lord commanded it now. You know what I mean? And so what you're starting to see, I remember Matata Pa was saying earlier, like the weather's starting to break. You know what I mean? The weather's starting to break, and you're starting to see those flowers busting through them tree limbs, and and the leaves are starting to grow, and that's dope, right? So the first month. So we're gonna just get like a couple more scriptures. Go ahead.
Sorry, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mind if I read it down at 22?
No, go ahead.
It's, just to help the point of what you're saying, it really like solidifies. If I may.
Go ahead, just break it down.
For the priests of the Levites, Ezra chapter 9 and it's chapter 6 and verse 19. I'll start from there. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together. All of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, and for their brethren, the priests, and for themselves. So, they doing it for themselves. They're doing it for all Israel. It ain't just some people was keeping the Passover. Everybody was keeping the Passover. Verse 21, and the children of Israel, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land to seek the Lord God of Israel did eat. Like, that's what we're trying to do, separate ourselves from the filthiness of the goddamn heathen. And you telling us not to do that. You know what I mean? You're telling me to continue to just, be who I was. You know what I mean? How is that ever going to benefit us?
That's right.
We're never going to elevate mentally.
Right.
And it says, verse 22, and kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. We was glad to do it. For the heart of the king of Assyria unto Salakia. For the Lord had made them joyful, and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of God, the God of Israel. So in all that, we still got strengthened in the captivity. The Lord still made the king of Assyria not mess with us so that we can rebuild the house of the Lord. Like, come on, you never know what's going to come out of
right.
You know, us coming together and doing, you know, having this brotherhood, man.
Right, absolutely.
What's wrong with this? Golly,
yeah,
man.
Most High in Christ.
And that's why I had to learn early along not to watch other groups. I'm able to do it now because I'm older. So older in the truth. So I can see what people are teaching to understand what the doctrine is so you can combat it. But other than that, if you weak, you knew in the truth, you should not be watching.
Hey, but talk about it, you're gonna be like, I'll be damned.
You'll be like, what? And then come into school, and then now you
hey, bro. Hey, but talk about it, you start turning the pages like.
You be like, man.
Yeah, you ripping the pages because you trying to figure out what the hell. Yeah, you trying to figure out like some new doctrine that you try to.
Wait a minute, was that Christ in the burning bush?
Yeah,
because he said, "I am that I am," and back here, Christ said, "I am." You know what I mean? You know, no.
Yeah, you start to. You know, if you're not rooted in the truth, you start to take on every wind of doctrine.
When they say, man, you always read this. I think it's like Mark the 4th chapter, or Matthew the 4th chapter, where it say, as soon as you learn the truth, here comes Satan. Yeah, and he take you right on up out of here.
Right to see. Yeah, immediately. Real, that's real, man. The water for that too. So Ezra 6, heavy scripture. And also too, people get it mixed up too about the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover, and it's really the same thing. It's the same event, just different days. All right, I got two scriptures. Go ahead.
I got a question for you, and this is a question that comes up every year. So maybe you can help clarify. So when
you get the mic.
So at the end of the Passover. At the end of the Passover, I know. I think it was. I forgot what year it was, but brothers was unclear if they could eat breaded. Remember, it was like was unclear if they could eat breaded stuff or something like that before Feast of Unleavened Breads. And like you're saying, it's all
the same.
The same, right?
Right. It's all the same. I'm gonna pull a scripture to show you. Luke, 22:1. Luke 22:1. Hold on, let me get there with you. I want to make sure. I want to make sure it's there.
That's like been a thing every year.
Yeah, because it goes right into it. Like once we have the Passover, after the Passover is over, and we walking out the room, we're in the Feast of Unleavened Bread right then and there. Because I remember one year where we couldn't really decide. Like we was like, because after the Passover, it's a certain specific meal that you can eat, like which is the Luke 22:1. It's a specific meal that you can eat. And sometimes brothers and sisters get hungry. You know what I'm saying? They get hungry, and and they want. And that year we wanted to go out and we wanted to get some damn chicken wings. Go ahead and talk about.
No. That's a question after you get this.
All right, we wanted to get some damn chicken wings after the Passover because it was. We brothers was hungry. We were drinking and everything. You gonna get something to eat. So the only thing that was open, we was in New York, and the only thing that was open was like a wing spot, and we was like, oh, yo, we about to, man, look, brothers was ordering wings like crazy. I think I ordered like a 50 piece. And then another brother saw that, was like, oh, man, I'm about to, and he ordered like one. And then another brother was like, yo, we about to, and then they came over like, yo, we about to order, you know what I mean? And then it was like, the company was like, yo, y'all gonna have to give us, some time, you know what I'm saying? Because brothers was like trying to just go crazy. But once it came down from the generals or whatever, and they explained it to us, they said you can get some wings or whatever, but they just got to be unbreaded. You can't have breaded wings; they got to be naked. Yeah, naked wings. Right. So if you could read Luke 22:1.
Power. This is the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover.
Say it one more time.
Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover.
Go ahead and talk about.
And I was about to say, even when you just how we even understand our days and when days start, you know, and how the next day starts when the sun goes down. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes we got to remember that, you know, when we dealing with Israelite, when we dealing with our culture, it's not the same as Esau, you know. Like, you know, as soon as the next morning, as soon as you see the sun come up, that's the next day. Nah, it's really when the sun go down, you know, like we really in the next day.
Right, and look, and so
the Passover, as soon as that sun go down, you're already in Feast of Unleavened Bread.
Right, and that's the spirit you want to be in. Like, you don't want to be in the spirit like, when I go to after the Passover, I'm gonna just eat all the bread I can eat, you know, before 7 o'clock. No, you don't. I was in that spirit. I was about to just eat bread. Like, look, give me a sub, a steak. Let me get some Doritos. Let me just go ahead and just pig out before 7, and then I can't eat nothing else. You don't want to go into the Passover with that spirit, because that's not the spirit of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Feast of Unleavened Bread is to deny yourself, because that's when we had to leave Egypt. So it's like, you like, you know, at that time they didn't know that it was about to be the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I mean? So they started eating all the bread that they could eat. No, they were on the run, so they had to take what they had and roll. So you want to go with that spirit. You don't want to go with the spirit like, I'm gonna just go buy, you know, 3 or 4 cheesesteaks and just go ahead and bust them down. Hey, we're talking about it. Man, look, it's 7 o'clock, the sun going down, everybody in the cheesesteak spot, or everybody at the donuts, you know what I mean? Everybody at Krispy Kreme and all that. Like, no, man. Everybody busting down cookies. Look, it ain't supposed to be like that. That's not the spirit of what we're doing. All right? Right? The spirit is, you know, Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread. So after the Passover, we in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, man. That's it. You know what I mean? If you want to you know, prepare, maybe you could you know, maybe have something in your room or something like that. Maybe you know, sisters make some great unleavened bread. And then maybe you could, you know, get you some lunch meat, have it at your room, maybe throw it at that joint in the cooler, and then have your unleavened bread already. Like, maybe you can go to the store, go to the Mexican spot, get you some tortillas or something like that. And then when you come out the Passover, if you drinking and, you know, you've been drinking wine all night and you ready, you know, you need something to throw in your stomach, then maybe you can go back to your room, you know, make you a sandwich or something like that with unleavened bread and then bust it down. Go ahead.
I just wanted to, if I could, I just wanted to remind everybody to, before you start to travel, to get that unleavened out of your house, because by the time you come back, remember, you'll still be in the Feast of Unleavened Bread because it's 7 full days. So you got to make sure you get it out before you get on that, you know, you get rental car, you know, plane, train, whatever. Just get it out the crib.
Yeah, because like I remember, because like, you know, the brothers had questions about that too. Like, you know, you just got to get you know, the leaven out of your dwelling place. So like, if you live in a house, say you in the city or something like that, and you know it's a little weird, then you know take your unleavened, and then say if you got a basement or something like that you don't go into, or you got like maybe your backyard or something like that, maybe a back shed or something like that, maybe you could take your leaven out of the house and you could store it there. You know what I mean? You know, it's you want to have it outside of your living space where you dwell at. You know what I mean? You want to have the leaven out. That doesn't mean that you have to, you know, throw everything away that's in your damn cabinets, because you know, Israel, we don't got a lot of money like that, so we might not be able to just throw all the macaroni, all the, you know what I mean? We might not be able to throw all the, you know, the pancake mix and everything else. We can't, all the cereal, you know what I mean? All the donuts, all the cookies, everything that you had to pay money for with your hard-earned money, you might not be able to do that. So what you got to do is, you know, take it out of your living, put it in a bag, and maybe put it outside, you know what I mean? Or put it in the shed, or put it in the basement, or put it in the attic, somewhere outside of your living space where you live at, you know, so that you don't get tempted to go and eat it. That's the whole spirit behind it. All right. Yeah, you okay? Well, if you don't eat bread, you're good. That's one up. But them donuts, them cakes, them cookies, you know, I know me myself. Like, and then also too, just a real quick sidebar. I'm not trying to drag the class out, but you know, you can't eat no Doritos, no, I don't think Doritos. I don't know about Doritos. Yeah, I mean, maybe I could be wrong. Salaki, I could be wrong about that. But what I noticed, what I was in my mind, I'm not saying this. I'm correct on this, but in my mind, I feel like I can only eat plain chips.
That's right.
Yeah, like plain, because it's just soybean oil and potatoes. It ain't nothing else. Like, because like I remember brothers were talking about like sour cream and onion and the you know the spicy the spicy habanero and all that. You know what I mean? Like you try to get deep into it. It's like I think that type of stuff, like what's it, the Cheetos, the cheese puffs, the jalapeno Cheetos, all that good stuff. You can't eat that. You gotta, if you're gonna eat chips, you can eat that. And then like maybe like we even do like baking soda. We don't even do like the baking soda toothpaste. We do like the regular toothpaste without baking soda. You do that?
No, you just started something in the chat though. They will understand it now, sir.
Nah, look, some of this stuff I'm like still kind of
so like
go ahead.
If I may. So the stuff that you can eat. So there's a list online. You know, you could type in you know, foods that's what they would call kosher.
Like yeah.
That's how they would call it online. Foods.
Man, what's going on, Thursday? I'm damn, you late.
But there's a specific ingredient. It's a specific ingredient. If you see that in chips or if you see that in anything, you can't have it. I think it's the gluten, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there is online. There's a list of foods that you can eat. You know, like the captain is saying, you know, you want to be in the correct spirit. So instead of eating all them damn chips, you know, even worrying in your brain about it, eat plain Lay's potato chips. If you gotta eat chips, you just have to eat chips. Mind you, salt is bad for black people. You know what I'm saying?
But you have like those cravings sometimes. You
gotta have the chips. Because sometimes I gotta, you know, I just feel like I want to eat some chips. Then I'll just eat the Lay's plain potato chips. You know, you can't go wrong with them. They salty, ooey, and it's just potatoes. You know what I mean? And it's just potatoes.
Hey, they make you feel good.
Yeah, but you know, if you're the type of person that don't eat that and you eat cakes, you can't eat no cakes. It's as simple as that. You can't eat cakes, but you can get with a sister who knows how to make sweet unleavened bread. Because Tazaiwan's rib and Tazia's rib made excellent unleavened bread. We made that sweet and we made sandwiches out of it. We was just sandwiches from unleavened bread. You can eat that, you know what I mean? But if you don't cook in the house and you eat from restaurants, you have to watch that. You know what I mean? You have to watch that. So sometimes when we would come back, we would like go to Subway and just get the salad and those kind of stuff 1 week.
Yeah,
it's not that bad to, you know, change up your diet for 1 week.
But it might be, and you know, it's good for a lot of brothers, man, because you know, a lot of those carbs, man, they turn into sugar, and the sugar ain't good for you. You know what I mean? So you know, so so right after Passover is a Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right, so you want to be in that spirit. You just want to understand right there is where you make that transition. You don't want to just be like, well, I'm gonna just bust all the you know, the Krispy Kremes down until 7 o'clock tonight. Go ahead.
So sundown, the Passover sundown. No more, because remember we eat unleavened bread. We eat unleavened bread there at the Passover. So no more bread. I mean, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can't eat bread and all that. So you don't eat that no more. Then the next day starts the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You're still not eating bread or anything like that for 7 more days.
Right. That's the spirit you want to be in. That's the correct spirit. 7
more days from the start of Feast of Unleavened Breads. You will not eat any more bread, period. But it's technically 8 days, because it's the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
And you got to eat a piece of unleavened bread every day.
Right. And every day that you're not eating regular bread, you still have to get a piece of unleavened bread.
Yeah.
So that means if you don't have somebody that's able to make unleavened bread, you have to go to Walmart, you have to go to ShopRite, you have to go to one of these places.
The Mexican spot.
Matzo crackers. You either have to get matzo crackers or you have to get corn tortillas.
The matzo crackers are horrible.
I can eat matzo crackers. The corn tortillas is horrible to me. Ooh.
No, I'm going to tell you, the corn tortillas, you got to cook them. You got to throw them in like a pan. Yeah, you got to throw them in a pan or throw them in a that's because they're raw.
Yeah.
That's why it tastes like that. And the Mexicans, they know that.
Man,
they eat it like that.
Bad boy. I just eat a piece.
You throw that joint in a pan.
Yeah.
Throw it in a pan like old school bologna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fried bologna.
Yeah.
Throw that joint in a pan. Let that joint cook up a little bit.
Right.
It's gonna get hard, and then when you eat it, it's not gonna taste like that nasty corn smell. That corn taste.
So you have to eat a piece of unleavened bread every day. So we're going to provide the unleavened bread on the day of the Passover. We'll also provide the bread the day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread.
And in class.
In class.
Yeah.
But after that, when everybody's traveling back home and all that kind of stuff, you're responsible for, yourself and your family. So you have to make sure you go and get that unleavened bread and eat a piece. Now, a matzo cracker is a big square. Still not kids, I want.
No, go ahead. No, we're getting it on. We're getting it on. It's Passover time.
It's a big square. You don't have to eat the whole square. Right. However, you do have to eat a piece of it. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like the corn tortilla, it might not be the best. Right. Tizaiwan told us how to make it the best. Cook it up. You know what I mean? Like bologna. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat the whole thing. However, you do have to eat something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a requirement. It's something that we have to do.
Let them know what the spirit is behind it. You know what I mean? Of eating that unleavened bread every day.
You're talking about as far as remembering, the times of old.
Right.
Remembering the Passover.
Right.
And how we had to rush and the bread didn't have a chance to rise and stuff like that. We had to get our stuff and go.
Right. But what is the Lord, the point of you eating it now, what does the Lord want to make you? And the only reason I'm asking you this is because General Muhammad asked us the same thing too.
I'm trying to think.
Do you remember? Okay, General Muhammad said that the Lord wants you to be sick of unleavened bread.
Oh,
you know what I mean? The Lord wants you to be sick of it. You know what I mean? That's why we eat it for 7 days, because he wants you to really remember what actually happened at that time. Like he wants you to remember, like our brothers and sisters, our foreparents who had to eat it, and they were tired of eating that bread. You know what I'm saying? But because they didn't have time to make it rise, and they were eating it in the wilderness and stuff like that. And it just that it directly connects us to our ancestors in the past.
That's a chance that you get to explain that to your kids. You know what I mean? So now they understand why we're doing it.
Okay, so eat a lot of things, do the house, sir, do the house. Okay, so Renee Green, are you coming? You said, what's the link for the ingredients? Okay. You know what, Renee? I'm not exactly sure what the link is.
Specific link, but usually when somebody will pull up something and it'll say like a list of kosher food.
You can go like, I hate to say it, but you can go like them Jewish cats. They got the
it's a specific name.
They got the right kosher stuff that you can eat.
Right, it's a specific name that you're looking for, and it'll tell you, like now if you see this, then what they call matzah crackers. The matzah.
Yeah, matzah. Yeah, matzah crackers. You can eat that. You can go to go to your, I don't know if you in the hood. I'm not trying to pass judgment, but if you in the hood or something like that, or you close to the hood, or you got somewhere where you can go to a Mexican store, then you can get a whole stack of tortillas like this for like $6, $7, $8. You know what I mean?
The thing is gone.
It says, let me see. The water.
It's moving around.
Y'all on it tonight because I'm catching. Y'all catching everything.
So you pretty much can cook whatever you want. It just can't have any leaven in it. That's it. You know.
Right. No leaven in your food. You cannot do it.
So
if you do it,
salads,
you are sinning against the Lord.
Right.
You are not doing what you are supposed to do. That's the point of this class tonight, is to show you. You know what I'm saying? For the sisters, you know, rewind after this is over. Rewind and take. This is actually the last video that we're gonna be doing. Hey, even Mataziala was like, "Wait a minute, we doing class tonight or what?" You know what I mean? This is the last one we're gonna be doing. Look, if y'all want to see me in person, y'all want to get an autograph or whatever, then y'all can catch me at the Passover, man. I'm gonna be there. Hey, Mataziala, I'm gonna be at the Passover. Y'all can link up. Y'all want an autograph from Mataziala? That y'all can hit us up at the Passover. We're gonna be there, and yeah, I'll gladly give you one there. Somebody stuck their head in.
That looks like that sounds like Kyle.
Who that? Kyle?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. No. Let me tell you something, Renee. There's no bad questions that you can put in. You can put as many questions as you want. The scriptures say be apt to teach. Apt to teach, meaning that, you know, when somebody asks you a question, you want to always be able to answer the question. Now, if it's something that I can't answer, maybe it might be a little bit above myself, then I will go up and get the counsel, or I will advise you to go to General Muhammad's class on Thursday. But you being new in the truth, you don't have to worry about any questions that you have to ask. You can ask any question you want, and I'll try my best to answer it. But in the school, we have a protocol where, you know, if you don't understand it 100%, then you gotta, refer it to somebody who does know. All right, no sweat. All right, Newark, New Jersey. Yeah, all right.
That's right.
Is it the Brick City or what? You know, that's my favorite rapper is Redman. I know everybody say their favorite rapper is Biggie or Tupac, but my favorite rapper is Redman. You know what I mean? Muddy Waters, man. Newark, New Jersey, yeah.
Camp up there, right?
Yeah, Newark, New Jersey. All right, so look, let's get back into it. I got a couple more scriptures, then I'm done. Deuteronomy 16:1. No, Exodus 12:1. Slakia. Exodus 12:1. Because remember, we were talking about the beginning of months, right? We were talking about the beginning of months. Exodus 12:1. And so this cuts Esau. This cuts Esau with his whole ideology that the new year starts in January, which it doesn't. The month of Abib is the new month, right? And let me look up Abib just to give y'all clarification.
It's March/April.
So Abib, Salakia. You right, Mataziala.
Because I've had March.
Right. Remember, our first Passover was April the 23rd. So the month of Abib is the first month. Is the first month of spring. That's the new year, right? Of spring, not the dead of winter. Right. Not the dead of winter when you see all the trees are dead. Right now, when you ride down that street and you see those flowers, you don't smell them yet because it ain't warm enough to smell them. I don't know exactly where y'all at, so let me take that back. But I know over here on the East Coast where we're at, it's still kind of chilly over here. You know what I'm saying? And when you wake up in the morning, it might be like 30, 32. Like I woke up this morning and it was like 32 degrees outside. So it's still cold, but you still see the flowers. But when when it starts to get warm, you'll be able to smell those flowers. But right now, you still see them growing. But right now is the month of Abib, which would be biblical. It's the first month of the new year. It's the springtime and it's Passover. All right, go ahead. The Exodus 12 and
Exodus 12. Or did you want the
3.
one? Did you want the one that had the month of Abib in it? That's 13 and 4. If you want.
Yeah, go ahead and read it. You're right. Go ahead. That's 12. I didn't have it here, but go ahead.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 13. I'm gonna start at verse 3.
Yeah, you got it.
And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month Abib.
In the month of Abib. I'm sorry, Christ.
And you call 12 and 2, right?
Yeah. Let me write that down. So y'all are bringing out scriptures. I didn't have that one, Sluggy. Damn, I don't got no pen. All right, no sweat. I just kind of remember it.
It's right up there.
I just remember it.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12.
I'll be writing down every scripture. Like a brother might bring something out. The water. I'll be bringing them joints out. Hold on. What was that again?
13 and it was 13, 3 and 4.
Exodus 13, 3 and 4. Salakia. I'll be right, man. Some brothers be having some of them
right.
Them cold cuts. All right. The headshots. I write all them joints down. All right, so Exodus 13 and 4, and then let's go to Exodus 12 and 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 1.
As a matter of fact, you can skip down to 4.
Book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 4. Yes, cameras.
I see it. We might have to do an update.
The book of Exodus, because every hand movement you're doing is catching it. That's what's going on. They want you to sit up there still, not move your hands.
It's like a damn. It's sensitive.
Yeah, maybe you can adjust the sensitivity.
Right. You know what? I'm glad you just said that. All right, you got it.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls.
Okay, so just to bring you down, right, when it was time for the month of Abib, it was time for the Passover, you would take a lamb, but you wouldn't take a lamb that was too big. Right? You would take it depending on your house.
Right.
You know, TITHES got some babies in there, and they gonna knock it out. They gonna knock that joint out. And look, and I'll probably be over there too. Right. So we're gonna need we're gonna need something that's pretty decent. You know what I mean? Something like that. We're gonna need a lamb with an afro. So you know what I mean? So because like Israel, we would bring the families together, like, all right, so your family, you know what I mean? Like, what y'all gonna need for y'all family? But we're gonna what you say? Yeah, so we're gonna butcher that joint up, you know. Got it up by the legs, and they gutting that joint, skinning it, and everybody, the kids playing. We sitting there listening to, music. It could be music, like, I don't know, like with the instruments or whatever, and we just sitting back, just chilling like we would today. And we just chilling. So you got that brother in the neighborhood, the brother, we used to have one in Florida. What was his name? Calvin Jack. You got brothers like that don't mind getting in there and butchering something up. You know what I'm saying? And you got that brother butchering that joint up, and we getting ready for the Passover. Keep going. Verse 4.
And And if the household be too little for the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
Right. So you got to make sure everybody got enough to eat. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year.
Right, because if you leave it to Israel, man, you're going to just eat the ones that don't look good and save the ones that are without blemish. But the Lord, save the ones without blemish. But the Lord wants you to eat the good, right? The Lord is telling you what to do, but you're going to be the one that's going to eat it. We're going to get the ones that sneezing and got colds. But the Lord don't want you to eat that. He wants you to eat the best one. Right? Like, imagine if it was the best lamb. You know what I mean? It's like, man, we got to eat that one. You know what I mean? That one is the one we supposed to, we going to breed. Hey, but that's about we going to breed that one. We ain't trying to, eat him. Right? Go ahead.
And especially, when it comes to, because you're giving it away to feed everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you bringing it to the table.
Right.
You bringing it to the table. You know what I'm saying? You bring it to the priest. So, the priest's going to have a whole bunch of sick,
right.
all of them sneezing, skinny, bony, you know what I'm saying? No, we can't eat. What kind of Passover is this going to be?
Right. The Lord wants you to eat the best.
Yeah.
Because you're going to eat it. You know what I mean? So He wants you to eat it. And so this is the family, the families that are together that's eating the Passover lamb. Right. Keep going.
This book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You should take it out from among the sheep or from the goat.
Right. So you can't eat a goat. You can eat a goat for the Passover. Like you can take it from the sheep or the goats, one or the other. Right. It's still lawful. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe we might have goat one day. But as far as we go, we just do the lamb. We do the Passover lamb or whatever. But you can take it from the goats or the lamb or whatever it is. All right, go ahead.
Verse 6. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it.
Right, that's where you would put it over the door. Go ahead.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast it with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water.
Right, the sodden, that means like boiling it. You're not supposed to boil the lamb. You're supposed to roast that joint, like it just said in the scripture before, with fire. Not boiling that joint and then just letting the meat fall off the bone.
That's actually coming up, sir.
Go ahead.
But roasted with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof.
Right, because all of it's lawful, every part of it. Even remember when we talked about they had like what was it, lamb head soup or something like that, like the Benjamites. Now that's where I draw the line. Yeah, that's where I draw the line at. I'm not eating no lamb. Like I was looking at it. Matazapah ate something. Matazapah had an eye. Matazapah had an eye in his soup. I was like, Matazapah ate the eye. I'm not eating that's where I draw the line. Like I'm not eating the tongue. I'm not eating nothing. You know what I mean? I eat the ass of a lamb. But I'm not eating the I'm talking about the booty of the lamb. But I'm not eating the damn, I'm not eating the tongue or the eye or nothing like that. Okay, all right, no sweat. So we got it. So you can't boil the lamb. You got to have the lamb roasted, all right? With the head and the legs, and with the pertinence thereof. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
Well, so what's that mean? No leftovers.
Right.
Right? So what is this telling you not to do? It's telling you not to be greedy. You know what I mean? You know, the brothers that like, you know, want to eat a whole lot. And you like, oh yeah, man, tonight I'm about to just tear this whole thing up. So you get a nice big old lamb in the house and you can't eat everything because your eyes are bigger than your stomach, right? So just be mindful of what you can eat, right? Because it is no leftovers in the morning. Go ahead.
Come. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire.
Meaning you can't eat it. You got to throw it in the fire and just burn it. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand.
Right. So this is, what you say? Nah, you can't take no plate off. Nah, this ain't like a barbecue. Right. This ain't like the family gathering where we just, you know, you be like, all right, you walk out like this. No, it ain't like that. You got to eat it while you're there. Like it said, what it say? Eat, and thou shalt eat it with your loins girded. Meaning you got your, what's that called? Your war belt on. You got your staff in your hand. You don't got to do it exactly like that, but the point that the Bible is trying to make is that, you know, when we did eat the Passover, we were eating it in haste. Because we was on point, because we had to get out of Egypt. Because at that time, the Egyptians, the Lord had just killed the firstborn. I mean, well, he was... Right, the Lord had killed the firstborn, so you know it was a time where we had to be on point. So it wasn't like we just had to, you know, we could just chill like we was at the barbecue and be like, "Yo, let me throw something on that plate, youngin." Like, nah, it wasn't nothing like that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Slack it. So if the killing was going on as we were eating the Passover.
The killing was going on as we were eating the Passover. Because remember, we put the blood on the door
so it can pass over.
Right. So death and destruction was happening while we were eating and being married, but at the same time, we had to be on point.
Damn right.
Like, because, it's going down. Right. So that's why he said, eat with your loins girded up. If you ever notice, like, any brother that's on like Shamar at the Passover, anything like that, the brother sit down to eat, he gonna eat it fast. You don't sit down and just be like, you know, trying to talk to everybody. You sit down and you eat that lamb and you drink your wine or whatever, and you do it fast, right? To remember right here, it says, thus ye shall eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand.